to JohnnyNerdOut.com. We want to help you convert your bike that you have right now sitting in your garage into a custom electric e-bike. And we believe that mid-drive motor systems are far superior and definitely more advanced than hub motors. Personalizing an electric vehicle to your standards by retrofitting a motor kit to your bike will have better performance than some click and ship from who knows where that you'll end up paying twice as much for. Now, you probably already know how to do this on your own. Hell, it's not rocket science to figure out how to plug a high voltage 56 cell battery pack into a 2000 watt 300 RPM brushless motor strapped to the bottom of your Schwinn. But if you're not sure where to start, we're here to help. You could book a consultation with an expert, Mr. Nerd Out himself. Or save a couple bucks, talk motors and batteries with our in-house light electric vehicle certified technician, Shane. Listen, if you have better things to do than build your own rocket ship, have us do it. Drop your bike off or just ship it to us. We'll get our hands dirty so you can keep yours clean and caress your wife's face while you explain that you spent your kid's tuition on your 4th electric bike. Actually, our shipping and labor rates are relatively cost efficient. What's that? You don't have a bike yet? Or your vintage 1985 Huffy Challenger 3000 isn't going to cut it on the trails? We have bikes! Fully customized to your specifications. We've got fat tires, we've got commuters, we've got single speed and hardtail mountain bikes, and a fan favorite by Coast Cycles, the Buzz Raw Classic Scrambler, with any motor you want. We could even slap a 25 amp hour Jumbo Shark on the frame and you wouldn't even notice. Fully customizable. Whatever you want, you've earned it. All you have to do is put together a 500-word dissertation submitted in duplicate to P.O. Box 5555, Burbank, California. Just kidding. Call us. Email us. Email me, Shane at JohnnyNerdOut.com. Email the shop, JohnnyNerdOut@gmail.com. Or just come by. Whatever you want. It's your birthday. Can't wait to see you at JohnnyNerdOut.com. Okay, all right. It is February 28th, 2024. Not the last day of February. There's one more day. Happy leap year. We're streaming live from Pacific Northwest of the United States here in Vancouver, Washington, across from Oregon, right across the Columbia River. And I'm gonna get John on the horn here. So here's your host, JohnnyNerdOut.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yes, we were robbed. If you saw the warehouse, we were robbed. You could clearly see, and there was a tornado as well. No, we are in the middle of, we moved the studio out of the warehouse. Still have a cough. We're now in the front office here, and we've just been shuffling. That's what this week has just been. It's been crazy. I'm so physically sore from moving. Pallet racking and product everywhere. It's been a mess, but we're getting through it. But we are now in the front office to our new home. Still got to get everything dialed in here, but Shane and I are in the front office here. So a lot of goings on here.
Hey guys, here I am. I'm in the corner.
There's Shane. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing some news. We're gonna talk about a little bit what's been going on with motors around here. I didn't really have a whole lot of stuff going on, so after the news, we're probably just going to jump right into comments and call-ins. If you guys want to call in and give your 2 cents, give your thoughts on what's going on or questions or whatever you want to do, feel free to call in. If you just want to comment, you're feeling a little shy, or if you're a little under the weather, you don't want to talk, go ahead. We'll try to get to all your comments. Go ahead and comment. Yeah, other than that, we'll get right into it. So without any further ado, Shane's got some news. Shane is always scouring the internet, trying to keep us up to date so that we're always all in the know, latest and greatest news, so that if you're sitting on the bus next to somebody and they're like, hey, did you hear about that e-bike caper? And you're not going to look like an idiot saying you didn't know about it. So that's what Shane's job is here. He's keeping you up in the know, so you never have an awkward moment on a bus talking about e-bikes. Without any further ado, Shane.
There's a lot of ado. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, there's a lot of ado.
I know. There was, yeah.
And you're so quick to just get right into business. We didn't even catch up. How you been?
We were robbed.
We weren't robbed. We should probably, because we're already getting condolences. Michael says sorry for the robbery.
I know. He knows that I'm joking.
All right. As long as everybody knows we're joking, we weren't robbed. All right. So you guys want to talk about the news? 1 second, please. All right. Here we go. Let's look at the news. I should have been ready with all that ado that we had.
There was too much ado.
All right, so we're going to start off with Denver. The Denverites. We got some news for you. So Denver's announced a major overhaul of its electric bike rebate program just a week before the distribution of its first round of vouchers for the year. So they did this, what was it, last year?
Do you have a website to bring up for it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, there you go. And actually, I have this is the actual Denver rebate website. So anyways, the key changes from the last time, if you saw this before when they were passing out these rebates. So the city's implementing significant changes to the program, including the introduction of a third rebate voucher amount. Individuals who allowed their vouchers to expire during the same year are now prevented from reapplying. Interested parties are encouraged to create an account ahead of time, and Denverites will now have 90 days to redeem their vouchers. Additionally, the city is now requiring all e-bike batteries to meet national safety standards. So they got to be UL certified now to get that money.
Interesting. That's kind of a... Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool.
Let's
At least
see
they're putting some restrictions on it.
The distribution amount. So there's 3 rebate categories: low income, moderate income, and adaptive. So low income applicants may save up to $1,200 on e-bikes or $1,400 on e-cargo bikes. Moderate income applicants are eligible for $300 or up to $500 on e-cargo bikes. I wonder why more for a cargo bike. And then the adaptive rebate applicants could save up to $1,400 on adaptive e-bikes.
Cargo e-bikes are crazy expensive. If you go to any bike shop and look up like a Turn e-bike, you see they're like $5, $6, $7,000. I mean, it's insane what they're charging for it. So yeah, $1,200. What were they saying? I think it was like $1,400 off of that. You're still looking at $5,500 or $4,000 to $5,000, which helps. But yeah, if you want to buy a pre-made cargo e-bike, it's crazy expensive. And you're still, I think, even those still have like a hub motor in it, or it's like 500 watt mid drive at the very most. Strongly recommend convert a bike. Go buy an extra cycle and convert one for way less, half the price, if not less than that, especially if you buy a used one.
So yeah, and the rebates aren't covering like motors or conversions.
That's crazy. Like I would be bummed about that. I would even say like include, hey, the batteries have to be UL certified. Like there still have to be like stipulations, but that's kind of ridiculous.
All right, so that's what's going on in Denver.
And I wanted to just to piggyback on that, yeah, because I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube page at all, but I put up a post. I put up like a question, like what is it called? A poll. I put up a poll. I was like asking about that, the incentives and stuff like that. And I asked, what do you guys think? Should government be putting money towards subsidies, towards rebates, or should it be towards infrastructure, like making roads better, making the roads safer for e-bikes and stuff like that, making the infrastructure, whatever that means, just putting that money towards the infrastructure, both or neither? And what was it, like 42% of people said it should be on infrastructure, 10% said the rebates, and then like 20% were like both, and 20% were like neither. But it does definitely sound like most of the people are put that money towards infrastructure, make the roads safer, make the environment safer for e-biking first. I would have done that first. If I was on a city council member or something like that, or whoever introduced this bill, I would have said, let's make the infrastructure for this so that then we can embrace it. Then we could handle. And again, I'm not super familiar. Shane brought up a good point earlier when we were talking before the show. He's like, maybe Denver's infrastructure is already like top notch. It's already better than Denmark's, or better than, we're in Portland here. And I think we have a pretty good infrastructure here for biking, but it still can be better. And I would still say let's make it better, especially if we're putting 20-30 mile an hour e-bikes on the road. Let's make the infrastructure better, and then let's put rebates in place to get more on there. Let's make them even double wide. Let's have lanes like northbound, southbound lanes on the bike lanes. Let's make them bigger. I don't know. I know maybe I'm chime in. What do you think about that? Maybe it's a hot take. I don't know. But anyways, Shane, you've got onto your next topic. Sorry.
All right, no, that was good. All right, so that was Denver. That was Denver news. San Francisco let's go back to the coast here. San Francisco's got some things going on. So the San Fran is set to implement new regulations for electric mobility devices powered by lithium-ion batteries. So the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, which I have here, just so if you guys want to see their faces, I think these are the guys. And this guy right here, this is Aaron Peskin. So I don't know. I mean, when there's things that are being passed, you probably want your voices to be heard. So this is the website for San Francisco's Board of Supervisors. They're over here making decisions, which is fine. Hopefully it's good stuff. The Board of Supervisors has unanimously voted to introduce safety standards for electric mobility devices, including e-bikes, electric scooters, and skateboards. A decision follows concerns over the hazards associated with faulty lithium-ion batteries. Since 2017, firefighters have witnessed a concerning increase in fires caused by lithium-ion batteries, resulting in property damage, so on and so forth. Starting in March, residents living in multi-unit buildings will be restricted to 4 lithium-powered mobility devices per household.
So I wonder if is that the bike, so you can only have 4 e-bikes, or is it 4 batteries. I wonder if they spelled that out. Like, hey, you could have 4 batteries. You could have 20 bikes. You know, that...
But only 4 batteries.
Yeah, I could say limiting the amount of batteries. That would make sense. But if they're just saying to mobilities, that would... To the actual devices, that would be stupid.
And furthermore, these devices must be parked at least 3 feet apart during charging and connected to individual electrical outlets. Additionally, refurbished and damaged batteries will be prohibited under the new rules. Some legislation details here. So San Francisco Supervisor Aaron Peskin, that was that one guy. Yep, that guy, he's kind of like a Jon Stewart looking guy.
He does kind of look like Jon Stewart.
So he's the one that spearheaded the legislation, emphasizing the importance of using certified products and avoiding makeshift charging methods. However, these regulations present challenges for repair shops, which will need to make significant upgrades to comply with the new standards. And then there's some advocacy groups that have raised concerns about the affordability of UL certified batteries.
Yeah, I mean, we still are waiting to see what the actual landed cost is going to be for UL certified batteries. I've gotten quotes that are like crazy expensive, and I'm like, what? Like, is this a joke? Like, you want $20,000 to certify 100 batteries? That's, I don't know, what is that? $200? That's $200 a battery extra. So I mean, whatever the prices are now, just add $200 to $300 on top of that. So it depends. And I've gotten some other quotes that are a little bit lower from different sanctioning facilities that are UL affiliated. It's like a whole thing that I got to do a lot more research on before I make a decision on. And I'm sure some of you guys deal with this stuff all the time. So yeah, if you guys want to save me some time and you guys did already some legwork, that'd be great. But yeah, getting UL certified is just, it's going to add to the price. It is better though. It's like this whole thing between like torque sensing, cadence sensing, hub motor, mid drive. This one's a little bit more clear cut. UL certification is better. It just is. It's been certified that it's by the underwriter's laboratory that this is safe. It's not going to do anything. But it could be the exact same thing as the one that's not. And that's the part where it's like, yeah, but can we just get by without it? Yes, but then you let in all the other bad characters in there without the UL certification. So it's going to be one of those things where I think our run in the sun is going to be over. This is going to be, I think, referred to as the heyday of e-bikes, especially DIY e-bikes when there was no regulation, there was nothing. For those of us early adopters, we had many years of fun with it. I think it's probably coming to an end soon for the most part, but I think we're still going to be having plenty of options. It's not like we're going to be going down to EU regulations where we're going to have 250 watt limits and things like that. But we are going to have to be paying more for the same stuff, things like that.
Well, I think that like the right to repair like discussion is going to start like the more of these regulations that are coming out. It's going to limit like what we're doing. And
there's so many tips of the spear that haven't even been addressed yet, like UL certification, right to repair. No, that's the thing that always drives me crazy is, and I made many videos on this, but people are buying e-bikes, especially the online direct to consumer ones, and then they're having problems with it. I probably get 5 to 10 email calls per week about people, hey, I bought this, insert your name here bike. Most of them are direct to consumer, and they're like, I need a this, I need a that, and I'm like, I don't know how to help you. I don't carry that stuff. I specifically don't deal with those direct to consumer bikes because it's a landfill. Landmine field? It's a landmine field?
No, that's right.
Whatever. It's a pain in the ass is what it is. As a dealer, as somebody who wants to stock that stuff, I would have probably 10,000 SKUs, of which I'd probably be selling 5% of it. So it's way too risky for someone like me or any vendor to be carrying replacement parts for all these direct-to-consumer parts because they're buying them. A lot of them are using one-off parts because they got a super good deal on something on these parts, and it's a pain. So yeah, right right to repair. They should be certified. Hey, this bike is certified right to repair. You can get these parts from a third party, super easy. You could work on it yourself. It's not going to be a problem, but it's not. The only way to get that is through DIY self-converted bikes or professionally converted bikes. And we need to really make sure, that's the other push, we need to be making sure that the converted bike sector is represented well. And so I talk about this a lot, but if you're converting your bike, take the extra 5-10 minutes, make it safe, do cable management, make sure things are spec'd right, like bolts are torqued down to the right spec. Make sure it's safe. Don't cobble things together. A lot of people are like, oh, a lot of these New York City fires are converted bikes, and I'm like, no, it's not. But I could already see if they catch wind of one, they're going to say this is, people are going to start trying to focus on that. So what's nipping in the bud?
Frankenstein bikes.
Yeah, Frankenstein bikes are saying, and it's like, well, let's not make Frankenstein bikes. If you're building a bike, don't make it a Frankenstein bike. Get cable wrap, spiral wrap. Make sure you're zip tying stuff. Everything is neatly put away. It's not going to get caught in your chain and your spokes or anything like that. Like, let's make everything super safe. If you be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right, I feel like I'm off mic. I know a lot of you guys are like, yeah, dude, you're like, I already know this. I
already know.
Yeah.
I think just like integrity is important, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Be proud. I mean, if you're building a bike or you're converting a bike, put a little bit of pride behind it. And
I want to coin take pride in your ride. Like, that should be the thing. And I think doing conversions, it epitomizes that, taking pride in your ride, because you're putting your hands on it, you're building it, you're converting it, you're making sure everything is just right, you're putting the correct size chainring on it, putting the right display on it, you're putting everything you want that's like, this is exactly how I envisioned it. I spent 20-30 minutes designing this bike, thinking about all the different aspects, the gear ratios and everything, and I got it dialed in. And that's total pride. That's like total craftsmanship. And if you're into that stuff, you cannot find it especially on the direct-to-consumer e-bikes, even on the store-bought e-bikes. You just can't get it. You have to go on the conversion route. If you want to have a craftsman e-bike, you have to make it yourself or pay a professional to build it for you. But yeah, you have on the far end, you have the Franken bikes, which are the person who doesn't know how to operate a Phillips head screwdriver putting one of these together and doing it like mind-bogglingly wrong. But we're trying to raise that lower level, the lowest common denominator. We need to make sure we're raising that up so that there's zero excuse for having a e-bike problem or failure. All right. Anyways, okay, sorry. You got more news to go to. Let's do this.
That's what's up. All right, 1 second here. All right, so this one's kind of cool. This is an article. Give me 1 second to pull up my notes. So this is an article by Electrek.co. Micah Toll wrote this article about why electric bikes actually give more exercise than pedal bikes. How do you guys feel about that? Because you always get people saying you're on the trail and you're riding and people might yell out to you that you're cheating because you got a motor, but that might not be the case. So contrary to popular belief, electric bikes or e-bikes have been found to provide more exercise than traditional pedal bikes on average. So I think that's the important part, on average. Recent studies have revealed that individuals who ride e-bikes actually engage in more physical activity compared to those who opt for pedal bikes. The surprising finding challenges the conventional wisdom and sheds light on the health benefits of electric cycling. So I had to dig kind of deep because you click on these links that say study. I'm like, where is this study? Where is this information coming from? Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then I did find the study. It was done here by the American College of Sports Medicine. This is in the Translation Journal. Some pretty serious note taking here. Oh, this is the ACSM. Website. I guess they do studies about this. So I think they were looking at people riding for 3 miles and getting their feedback. The conclusion is interesting. So a lot of details that I didn't actually read, but I got the gist of it. goes into a lot of it. Anyways, so several factors contribute to this trend. Firstly, the electric motor makes uphill climbs and challenging start less strenuous. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this story, but I think that the conclusion being is that people are more happy. They're happier. They're more excited to ride an electric bike. So therefore, they'll ride their e-bikes more often than they would otherwise ride a regular bike.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're getting more exercise.
Yeah, and I made a full-length video on this, a standalone video on this probably 2 years ago, where it was e-bikes don't give you exercise, and I think I called it like a load of crap or something. Because it is a load of crap. I mean, I remember I used to really try to ride my bike when I was many years ago. I remember I did a bike challenge where I bought a pedometer and I think I did like 1,500 miles or something one year in Chicago, which, a lot of people do that in a month, but I had an old hardtail rim brake mountain bike that I was riding, and 1,500 miles is pretty good, and I was really sweaty. I could easily do that. I think I did like 6,000 miles my first year that I had my Beno when I was commuting. Actually, between my first 3 e-bikes, I probably did that, but just commuting back and forth, 15-mile commute each way. And I definitely burned more calories easily. I mean, like, I would still show up and be like, oh, the next day my legs would be burning. I'm like, oh, I've got an e-bike, but it's like you're still pedaling. Like, I'm still a cyclist at heart, not like a fanatic or anything, but I still love cycling. I would still ride a bicycle if there were no motors. I would still ride a bicycle. So I still like the act of doing this. As long as you're a person who still likes the act of actually moving your legs and pedaling, yeah, you're going to be burning more than you think. And it's just the act of just getting out there more often. You don't have to be doing the same amount, same strenuousness. You're going to be riding 10 times more than you would, even though you're only burning a third. If you're burning a third of the calories, you're doing it 10 times more often, you're burning 3 times more total calories. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, let me read the conclusion to this. So it is kind of interesting how they word it. So in conclusion, compared with a regular bicycle, riding an e-bike for a simulated 3-mile commute resulted in lower metabolic, cardiovascular, and perceived effort that nevertheless met the intensity level associated with healthy physical activity recommended by the World Health Organization and the ACSM. And also positive perceptions toward e-bike riding occurred in most participants. Now, I don't know who's like riding an e-bike and feeling like, oh, that actually sucked. But yeah, so it's exercise. That's what the World Health Organization. That's what who's saying.
Yeah. So end of the day, guys, e-bikes are good. So people are always. I do consultations all the time, and people are like, I know it's kind of like a toy, but I'm really trying to think of it as more of like an exercise machine. And I'm like, yeah, it actually is. It's not just a toy. In fact, I don't even think it is a toy. You could use it as a toy. Some people use their car as a toy. You got that hot rod under the tarp, or some people have got their Capris in their driveway. They got their toy car, but then they also have their work car. Same thing with an e-bike. You could have your toy e-bike, but then you could easily have a work e-bike. Easily. And that's where you're going to be getting those calories burned, and it's not a toy. Stop thinking about... I think people need to stop being so sheepish about being cheaters or being like... There's like these labels that are like so antiquated, and it just shows the ignorance of some people when they say that they're cheating. It's like... Don't get me started. Anyways, you're part of the solution if you're on an e-bike and you're actually using it and you're using it a lot. I remember like Shane got his e-bike last summer and he put on like 1,000 miles in that first summer. This is in like 3 months probably. Mm-hmm. So if you're actually using it, you're gonna offset. Anyways, yeah, totally good. I wanted to touch on
real quick, John. So in the description of this video, there should be a link to our Discord, and then there's also the link that I pinned for where you can post your gear. I think someone was asking about that.
Oh yeah, we got a Discord that it's actually been pretty popular. I've been going in there every once in a while, and I've been seeing some killer builds. Maybe Shane's gonna later on in the show gonna do some highlights on some cool swag and builds that we've seen, which is really cool. And I've been looking at some of the comments. I saw Michael Sprinzels was bringing up UL certification for the noobs, and I kind of do agree. And he was talking about people not pairing batteries and motors together, and that is a huge problem, I think, when people are building their first bike. That they're trying to save money, and people are always doing that. I do a lot of consultations. They're like, oh yeah, hey, I'm loading up my Amazon cart right now. What do you think I should get? And I'm like, probably not the battery. Like, just you can buy the motor off of Amazon if you've got an Amazon gift card or whatever. Like, I don't ever endorse buying off of Amazon because for a number of reasons. A lot of times they don't include everything. First of all, they don't include any support, but they also a lot of times give you like just really bad connectors on them just to start, like power connect. They give you barrel connectors, which really isn't compatible with almost anything. Those are like the lowest grade connectors you could put on, and they're prone to overheating and shorting and melting, just to put it short. I always cut those off and put on Andersons. Andersons I like. Those are rated up to 45 amps, which is overkill for a BBS02 and HD. But it's better to have that. So a lot of these problems are kind of stemming from Amazon, I would say, and especially the batteries. These are cheap batteries. A lot of them are like using the cases from 10 years ago, and the cells are generic, and they could put whatever they can market it as Samsung, Panasonic, LG. They could say whatever they want. Who is cracking open the cases besides me and checking the cells? No,
and even if they do, so what recourse do you have if you open it up and find out it's not a Samsung? You probably void, if there is any little warranty, you probably void it by opening it up.
Right, and I'm sure they would just. I mean, these are companies that are not based in America most of the time, and so they have very little interest in being square with you. They want to just keep making sales. So I've done that before, and they've offered me. This is a long time ago, but they offered me like $30 back, and I was like, no, I don't even want this battery. This is a junk battery. This is a 10 amp hour because it has 2200 cells in it instead of the 3500 that you in Samsung. So yeah, and it just. So anyways, I don't recommend buying off of Amazon. Where did I go? Oh yeah, pairing batteries with motors. So a lot of times they could lie about everything. They could lie about the specs. Hey, this is a 35 amp battery. It could put out 35 amps. Really, it could only put out 20, 25, and then you're going to start to have issues. So yeah, especially if you're building like a CYC, you definitely want to make sure you're pairing it. Check what is the amp rating on it, and know the difference between an amp rating and an amp hour rating. Like, those are totally different, two totally different. They don't mean nothing. They're not correlated at all. So definitely know what's the motor can pull, what can the battery pull. Or change the setting. If you're getting a battery that can only put out 50 amps and you're getting a motor that could pull 80, set the controller to max out at 50. Like, you could make settings, but just know what you're doing. Or call a guy like me and I'll do a consultation with you, or Shane, and we'll do a consultation and we'll walk you through this. So go to JohnnyNerdOut.com, by the way, if you want to book a consultation. If you are a newbie doing this, or even if you've been around the block a few times, but you're like, man, I want to buy this. I'm thinking about switching to this setup, but I saw you did a video on it, but what'd you do? And you want to go more into detail. Like, we'll help even the experienced guys a lot.
Should we see what Chad's talking about?
Yeah, what's Chad saying?
All right, so Winky D, quick question. I just built a couple fat e-bikes, Norco Bigfoot with CYC photons. The motor, can it touch my frame, or should I put rubber between the frame and the motor?
It
could touch.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you're talking to. Metal on metal, it could scratch your paint. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. If you're planning on never converting it back to a regular bike, it's not going to really matter. I wouldn't matter. I like my motor touching my frame, because then I know I like to push it up there, and then I take my impact wrench. Don't do this, and then I tighten that down so that it does not move. So I know it's against there. If you have any little bit of tiny space and that lock ring is not on tight enough and under torque, that motor will flex. It wants to come up towards your bottom tube.
What are you saying not to do? Don't do the torque? Don't use the torque. wrench.
Don't take an impact wrench to it.
Wrench.
I mean, unless you
Unless
know
you
what we're
want
doing.
to,
Well, unless you know what you're doing.
which is torquing something down.
Yeah, you want to make sure.
As long as you're aware that you're.
I recommend using a torque wrench to do that, but I know we're in a shop here. We do them a lot. We go the quick route. We know what we're doing.
All right, Lions Den 72 just wanted to say hello. Hey, Lions Den. He just checking in while I'm waiting for my BBS HD to be delivered by UPS tonight.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. And then RC Mike Man's got a Gen 4 coming in the mail.
sweet.
That's what's up.
I still want to put one of those. I got a Gen 3. Oh man, I put on a Gen 3 on that bike, that moped there that we were moving.
Oh yeah.
But it's got a broken torque sensor. And now
Do we have like the torque? Do we have a torque sensor to?
Spare part? No, I don't really have too many spare parts for the Gen 4s just yet. They just came out.
But you said it's a Gen 3?
It's a Gen 3, but I was waiting to stock parts on it because they told me the Gen 4s were coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to load up on Gen 3 parts if they're getting rid of it. So
How about the Photon? Do we have
we got
torque sensors for the Photon?
It's a great question. I'm not sure.
I wonder if they're the same.
No, they're definitely not the same. Like almost nothing is compatible between the Stealth, Gen 4, X1 Pros, and the Photons. They're like all different components, which sucks.
Well, the spindle, like that spindle, is like the different length spindles.
Well, no,
but then you need other parts for it. Like you need like the other accessories.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they're different mounts. Like the X1, yeah, I guess there might be some part, like the wiring harnesses, thankfully. The electronics are compatible. Same display, same wiring harness, brakes.
So, and the sensor is just like it's like a chip, right?
It's a great question. I haven't pulled that apart yet to see where that.
Tear them up.
I know.
Let's tear them up and
I should see where that is.
Miles Sprinzell says, huge problem. People buy motors that require higher.
That's what I talked about. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I gotta.
All right, but then he also said
I got to touch some base on that.
Let's see. What else you guys talking about? Toker Kron had a bunch of questions. I think we talked a lot about batteries. I think at the beginning of the stream he was asking us to talk about battery safety. And
I feel like we did just talk a lot about battery safety.
But also,
anything specific.
Toker is saying, so hold on. I'm looking in the beginning of the stream. He says, talk a little bit about battery safety. My partner read the news that bike batteries kill people in fires. I tried to explain lithium batteries, but I'm not sure if I got it covered.
Don't buy cheap batteries.
Well, that's the thing. So then later on in the chat, Toker is talking about how he got his battery off Amazon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't do that. Go back in time.
Or maybe he just said, maybe not Amazon. What did he say? He said he got a cheap battery and the motor off Amazon. Where was his comment? It's hard to filter through the comments, but something along those lines. Don't go cheap on the battery.
Yeah, just don't cheap out on that. It's more importantly, I'd say it's 50-50, but most of the time I'm like, more important than the cells. People are like, oh, I got Samsung cells. But I'm like, okay, but if they were cobbled together by somebody who was like smoking a cigarette and watching Maury Povich or something like that while they were doing that, who cares? Who cares if the cells are good if the craftsmanship going into the assembly is junk? I would much rather have some cheap generic, the cheapest cells ever that probably shouldn't even be put together, have an expert, like painstakingly like a watchmaker, assemble them. I would much rather have that battery than the other way. Then, I got Samsung cells in this. Yes, but they were put together poorly and shoddily using cheap material, and the person wasn't paying attention. They were getting paid per battery, so they were just hurrying up and to do it. So, no, and there's no oversight. There's no so like my batteries are all UN certified at least, like they're quality certified for shipping because they all come from Hong Kong. They all have to be at least certain qualified for quality, at least to, hey, these are not going to blow up in the air. Just at least you get some certification. A lot of these batteries on Amazon have zero certification, or if they do, it's I don't know. They got their brother stamp it or something.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it's good.
Jason Dundam, my Halo 36H back wheel free hub. Does that make sense to you? My Halo,
I feel like we're talking in code.
Halo 36 back wheel free hub, body, the bearings, and upcoming. I should have read this first. I don't know what these words. Getting stuck under the pawls, turning the damn thing into a fixie.
Oh,
Any
Jason.
advice?
Yeah, Benji. Oh, Benji's out riding his BBS HD right now. So he's
right
watching this and riding his BBS HD.
That's
safe,
cool.
man. That sounds. Maybe he's got like those Google glasses where he's watching us. Benji actually was talking about this.
Okay, so a better hub that can handle a BBS02, I guess. That's what Jason's getting to. He wants.
Yeah, well, Benji was talking about taking zip ties and running them through the holes in your cassette around your spokes, so that the problem that happens is, it freewheels. So you got these paws that allow it to freewheel backwards, but then when you go this way, they spring up and they catch on it. But if you got a mid drive and you're cranking on it and there's some slack in there, you got a lot of force when that thing goes, when it springs back. There's a lot of unsprung tension, I guess. So when it hits that, you could break off your teeth, and you could do things that'll just mess up your stuff. So Benji was talking about that like a month ago. Good little hack. Take a zip tie through it and tie it to your spoke, so that there is no. Essentially, it would be a fixie, so that you can't freewheel backwards. I think that's what that was.
Yeah.
So, but at least you get more reliability.
I guess just to get back to Toker, because Toker's jumping in the comments a lot and talking about taking care of your battery, and maintaining your battery is probably just as important as getting a good battery and charging it properly. And
a lot of people are always like, so do I want to like discharge it completely and then fully charge it all the way up, right? That way there's no there's a memory, and it's like, no, you don't want to do that. Ideally, you want to keep your battery between 30% and 80% state of charge, pretty much always. And then I would say every 10th discharge to 30%, fully charge it up, so that the BMS can do its job of, hopefully your battery has a BMS in it. Some people do build their own, they don't put BMSs in it. But if you have a BMS in it, you want to fully charge it so the BMS can then go every bank of cell, top them all off, get them all, back to snuff. So 30 to 80%, that would be ideal. But, and if you guys want to know more about battery health, if you're just like, I want to nerd out on this, I have a book. You could also get it on Amazon. But again, we try not to buy things on Amazon, right? If we're trying to be woke or whatever. Battery University. I think Shane's going to try to pull it up here in a second. We got it on JohnnyNerdOut.com. If you want to know anything there is to know about...
Books, huh? We're almost like a library here.
Yeah, I got the Park Tool book up there too. If you guys want to know anything about bike repair, if you want to start nerding out, these books are like $20-$30. It's not like a huge investment. But if you want to know all there is about battery safety, it's called Battery University. Batteries in a Portable World. It's by Battery University. Here's the book here. It's on JohnnyNerdOut.com. $29.
I feel like we gotta fix this. See how it shows up on computers sometimes?
Yeah, that's not good. I get emails every once in a while like.
So it looks better on on your phone.
That's a bummer. Click on the other picture. How's that look? No, that's just him. Okay.
Well,
anyways,
it's a book.
Trust us, it's a book. It's like a 300-page book, and it goes in depth on how to care for your battery. And it talks about the history of batteries. It's it's crazy.
And we also got Park Tool.
Yeah, and if you want to know about how to take care of your bike, like you're like, I want to whatever. Like this is the bike. Between those two books, those two bike books, they're both blue bike books. You should be good. You'll be pros. You'll be opening up your own e-bike shops and putting me out of business.
That's right. Benji just wanted to clarify that he's listening live. He's not watching.
Okay.
So he's like using his imagination.
Of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like we're juggling while we're doing this.
He's
just listening to make sure we're shouting him out. Be like, hey,
Quantum
give me credit
FX.
for that hack.
Quantum says this was the first year ever in Michigan where e-bikes were ridden all year long. Cold weather really knocks down battery performance.
It was like 7. Oh, for him, I was gonna say it was like 70. I got a call from somebody in Michigan. Was it today or yesterday? He's like, it was like 70. Yeah, and then I guess they had tornado warnings and stuff yesterday too, because it's like 30 degrees now. But yeah, depending on your setup, you could definitely be riding year round. I used to ride year round in Chicago without an e-bike. I used to ride my single speed all year round, freeze my nards off. But
what do you think about opening up the phone line?
Yeah, guys, go ahead. If you guys want to call in, if you guys got something to say, you guys want to have a jaw session, shoot the breeze.
Hit the like button if you want. It helps out. I think it gets more people seeing the live. So
Yeah.
If you want to take a second, if you're enjoying the show, we do appreciate you watching. Even if you just watch, even if you don't push like, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. And yeah, if you do like it, let us know. If you don't like us,
let us know. Let us know if you don't
private.
like us.
Let us know privately.
No, let us.
Hey, I don't like you. I don't like your guff.
Someone asked about our shop, about our hours here.
Oh, yeah, I did see that earlier pop up.
Probably appointments are...
Yeah, so a lot of the time I recommend going by appointment. You could try to stop in by the shop. I'm usually here like 8:30 to 5, but a lot of times I got to run some errands. And I do consultations throughout the day. I'm usually the only one here, so I recommend making an appointment. If you're going to do like a bike drop off or something, just schedule it. Go on JohnnyNerdOut.com. It's free to schedule it. It's just so that I'm not double booked. I hate to be on back-to-back consultations and have you just sitting here waiting.
I mean, if we know ahead of time too. I could always.
Yeah, Shane could jump down here if it's like, hey, I want to pick something up, just whatever. Just try to let us know. Or if you're just happen to be driving by, yeah, you could just come and knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and if we're available, we'll come say hey and let you come take a look at the shop. But yeah, if you're driving 4 hours, definitely call ahead. Call before you haul.
Lines that said he did the hack with the zip ties. Works very well with the O2. Makes it real easy to shift without a sensor. Let off throttle, shift, get back on it.
Yeah.
Arcimoto e-trike seemed like a cool reverse trike with 4 motors, but I believe they are no longer building it. Don't know what happened.
Which one was that? Was that their e-bike one, like the leaner? I think they were making
Arcimoto.
Yeah, they're down in Oregon.
Arcimoto. Like all the way down there in Oregon.
I've been following them for a long time, and I really like what they're doing.
Oh wait, did we drive one? Did we see these?
Yeah,
I think we saw them
somebody was outfitting them. We saw them at the micromobility show, and somebody had outfitted them so that they were self-driving. But I really like. Oh no, we did drive those. We drove those at the. There's a different electric. The one up in Seattle we went to. That was cool. Yeah, they let us drive them, and they're like, "Give it some gas," and it was like, they were fun. They were cool.
We kind of like went around town a little bit. Like, we're on the streets with them.
That was fun. For $20,000, it's not.
I think I've seen one of these. I think I've seen somebody out there driving one.
Yeah, I'm always just like tonight I had to drive my car in because it's raining, and I'm a baby and I didn't want to ride my bike. But look at that thing. That would be perfect. I could ride that in the rain. If I shrunk that down and made it like an e-bike so I didn't have to register it and stuff, that would be perfect. Woo! And that is fun. And they're in Oregon, and they were coming out with like an e-bike one though. It was like gonna be $5,000 or $6,000. Take a look at what else they have. Mean Lean Machine. Click on that. I wonder if that's what you're talking about.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like but this isn't like a four motor thing that you were talking about. This one, I'm like, I don't know who this is necessarily for.
Just that one guy. This guy.
I mean, it's cool, but I forget how much is it, and the things were like, I was like, man, if it was like $2,500, I'd do it.
200.
But it's like $6,000 or $7,000, I think, or something. It's kind of like,
I'm not seeing any pricing.
Man, I don't know who this is for, and I don't think it does it doesn't go 50 miles an hour or anything, so it's not like it's a car replacement. But it does fit. It's a very niche thing. If you have balance issues or something like that. That would be a cool thing, but man, I don't know. But they're FUVs; those are cool. I remember I was gonna invest in them because I really like that company.
As a CEO, maybe we gotta get Jesse on the.
Oh yeah, I was actually talking with them, I believe, about trying to do a tour of their facility, and then I got busy and something fizzled out. But yeah, I thought that would have been awesome.
What were you doing?
Just tons of.
You were doing it.
There's like.
You're acting like you're busy. You got nothing going on.
I know, that's true. I got nothing. But yeah, that I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but that Arcimoto is a cool company. But
let's see, Kevin Bodor, but I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Off battery topic, but to make it all about me, 3 times my mid started running while I had come to a stop. Not really sure what would have caused it. Some sporadic wiring issues, my guess. Not sure.
So wait, his mid drive started taking off while at a stop?
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of motor.
Was he running? If it's I guess even I've had it happen on a torque sensor where I'm at a red light and you move your pedals a little bit, just even a little bit. It could, depending on how your sensitivity is, you could change that though. If you're running a Bafang or a C/C, you could change that sensitivity so that it doesn't do that. What I always do, what I try to get in the habit of, if I'm at a stop and I have no intention of going, it's a red light and I'm in an intersection, there's a car going by, always put one hand, I squeeze a brake, so I trigger my brake cutoffs. Best habit you could get into. Save your life. Even if you're like, no, I know I'm not gonna. I've done it. I've been like just zoned out, and I just like kick my pedal back, and then it just moves a little bit, and it takes off, and I'm like, whoa, oh my, what? And then not worth it. Just get in the habit of doing the smart stuff. Just put your hand on the brake pedal.
I may have moved them a little bit, but the machine just kept going. It pulled itself almost out of my hands. Remember when I had that problem with the Photon? That was obviously like something that was messed up, but it was
like lurching.
What's lurching mean?
Like it was like
yeah, it was like going. So like basically like I stopped pedaling, and then like 3 seconds later the motor like kicked in.
Yeah, you definitely had a ghost in your system.
But it only happened like one ride, and then it like fixed itself. I think it was like a dominance issue. We're like deciding who was in charge, me or the motor.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, Kevin. Just make sure you let your motor knows who's driving who.
Yeah, that's right. Make it respect you.
Yeah. All right. The phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in and say anything.
Hearing lots of people talk about Sleeping Bear Dunes. I went up there one time. That place is beautiful. I love northern Michigan, like that whole UP. I was just talking to someone today in Canada, and I do a lot of shipping to Canada. People are like, do you ship to Canada? I'm like, yes, we do. We ship to Canada. Yeah, just north of Upper Peninsula. But and if you guys don't know, me and Shane are both originally from the Chicagoland area. I'm Northwest Chicago. He's Northwest Indiana, and then we both met in Chicago. So
I'm from Chicago. I was born in Chicago, and then.
Yeah, around the area. We're both been like around the Chicagoland area.
Northwest Indiana. I bet you we're the same distance, right? About the same distance from like actual Chicago.
Probably.
Whatever.
Mackinac County, is that Mackinac Island near there? But anyways, yeah. Let's see. Anybody else? Anything else going on? It's kind of a slow night tonight. It's a slow rainy night. Oh, and I did really quick. I did want to touch base on the M635 update. I feel like this is just like an ongoing joke now. I got the new software sent to me last night. Updated it this morning. Took it for a ride. The exact same issue. So I don't know what's going on. I think there's a miscommunication. So here's what I have, and I need to just open up some. I think I just need to open up another motor because the motor that I have that I've been trying to deal with was. I think it's a demo. It's technically like a demo one, and I don't know if they've updated the firmware. I need to just crack open another motor and at least read the firmware to see if it's the same exact one or not. Because if it's not, it might be a green light. It might be good to go. But the fact that my supplier, who is hand in hand with Bafang, can't troubleshoot this issue is troublesome, which makes it sound like Bafang doesn't have the firmware because they would just send it to them. So the M635 is still just collecting dust on my shelves in the back. Still just waiting for something to just crack and have a breakthrough with it. Otherwise, we are getting more of the 2.7. We have still have a few 1,000-watt 2.7 motors left. I've got another batch of the 500-watt 2.7s coming back. And I don't know if there is a 750-watt version of the DMO1, which is 1,000-watt. Does anybody have any interest in a 750-watt version? I know some people want to get it just so that it's street legal, but it's the same motor as the DMO1. It's just firmware tuned to 750. So I'm really hesitant to to carry it. It's just another line item, another SKU.
What's the other? So there's the DMO1 and then the O2.
DMO2, and they're different design motors.
And the O2 is
500 watt.
It's 500, but can it go up to 750?
No. So the DMO1 is 1000 watt and 750. I need to confirm on that, but I'm like 90% sure that's what it is. I'll have to go back and read my email, but yeah. So that's why I'm like, I don't. If the DMO2 is 500 750, I would just get the 750. I wouldn't even carry the 500. So I'll have to double check that, but yeah. Yeah, and there's talks about that. I got a bunch of accessories coming in for the 2.7 motors. I'm excited about that. I feel like the 2.7 motors, when we got them in, there's just no. I had one chainring option essentially, 46 tooth for the DMO1 and 42 for the DMO2. But now I'm getting a bunch of chainring options with offsets. I'm going to be getting a whole bunch of display options. So I feel like now we're going to start getting. It's going to start to be a little bit more of a contender, I think, here pretty soon. And I'm starting to get some customers giving me feedback on stuff that they're finding out. I love this is why I love it. Like my customers they're like, hey, I know I'm tip of the spear. We're doing this stuff, and I just got an email today. It's like, I found out this about the display. It's got to be set on this setting, and if you don't have it like this, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like. Yeah, our customers are the best because they send back with updates on things that they found, whether or not, if I know it or not. Like, I always embrace it.
Penguin Emperor says that they'd be interested in this 750 watt 2.7.
Kind of curious, why would you? Is it because of the street legalness? So that, if there was a 1,000 watt version, because if you got the 750 watt version, you can't unlock it to go to 1,000 watt. But if you got the 1,000 watt, you could dial it down to be 750. That's the only one. That's the only reason. So
Joe says he'd take a few too if you got them.
All right, 2 or 3. You'll take a couple, 2 or 3.
Luke says that there's a programming wizard on Endless Sphere that created a freeware controller flash.
For the M635?
Maybe. That is what we're talking about. I think so.
Because here's the thing. Because with that motor, you have to use the BEST, BESST programming module to program it. You can't just use a thing. And almost nobody has that unless you're a dealer. So I find it hard. Like, you're not going to get people. You have to have a login for it. You have to be like an authorized dealer. Like, it's not just like, oh, I got that thing. And it's like, well, you got to have a login. You got to have everything. So, like, I can't just go in there and design my own code. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can, but I'm not a programmer. But, like, I can go in. All I can do is go in and just download the firmwares that I'm getting sent to me and then flash it. But, yeah, the average Joe can't do it.
Steven wants to know, can you make adjustments on UART Pafang G510?
Which one's the 510?
I have to look that one up.
Long story short is, yeah, you probably can. I forget which one the 510 is. I think it's like the light duty ultra. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go to UART for the M635. And that's just like the language that it uses for communicating data. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I have high hopes for the M635. It feels robust. I think it's going to be super reliable. It's Bafang. It's got the Bafang name on it. But I don't know. I still think BBS HD is going to be the one to topple until CYC makes the Photon bulletproof. I still think BBS HD and BBS02 are the respective leaders. They're still king of the hill. If you're looking for a very specific build, sometimes the Photon's better. Sometimes the Tongsheng is the best option for you. I know. It's like this battle. Me and this M635. It's just so. I almost don't want to do an update every week on it because it's just like I didn't figure it out yet, and I'm waiting. So.
Want to check out Discord?
Yeah, Shane, you want to pull up?
1 second. Yes.
Pull up some cool builds.
Discord. Yeah. Well, there's some batteries. Who's that? Sprint just posted some batteries. I think he might have got those from us. There's a Surly. So these are like not finished builds, but
Hey, that's
there you
cool.
go. It's coming along.
Surleys are awesome bikes. I always love a Surly. And the thing is with Surleys, you'll see the FFF insignia down there. The fatties fit fine. Can cause some problems because that chainstay comes out. You'll see there, and I'm always using my hands when I'm talking to people on the phone. But that chainstay angle comes out super aggressive from the bottom bracket. Oh, yeah. So right there. So sometimes the motor housing will actually hit that, especially the Bafang because it's got the internal. Oh, he's got some toys. Yeah, look at that. Be careful what you're listing, man. Those are some cool RC cars, man.
There's more over there, too.
Holy crap. Awesome.
Is that Alkaline? Benji, hope everyone out enjoying their bike. There's Benji's bike.
Nice.
That's cool.
And he's got the 72-volt modded HD, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got that. Yeah, 6,500 watts at peak. That's like 9 horsepower.
Ludi V2 at 72 volt, yeah.
And his bike is still alive. So you can see, guys, you can run crazy power through a bicycle and it not disintegrate immediately.
We got the O2. We got a doggy.
That's awesome.
Blue. That's cool. Did you build that? Who is this? This is Jason.
Looks like it. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
How does your dog like it? My dog just gets so anxious when she's in there. And both of them, actually, both dogs get super anxious when I put them in there. They're just like...
But do they stay in it?
I have to leash them down. I have to tether them to the anchor points and stuff so they can't. But yeah.
Like, do you have one that like zips closed or?
I have one that can. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Winky D just built. Haven't even been out on them yet. Oh, you
nice.
Built 2? Oh, cool.
Sweet. Oh, that must be the one. I was gonna say I think that's our battery, but it's not. He's got the 20 amp. Ours is 28 amp hour. Not trying to.
That's okay. That's all right.
Not trying to blast.
Orange, almost red Norco Bigfoot and the green Bigfoot.
Those are cool bikes. Nice builds.
He's over there in Ontario.
Dude,
that's offensive.
Is it?
Why are you being offensive?
Is that offensive?
I think it's offensive.
Sorry, Canada.
What's that? Here we got the photon there.
That's cool.
That looks pretty clean. I mean, the wiring looks well done. Yeah,
that's the one thing. That's the other thing I don't like about that photon is that power cable that comes out. I don't know. I always feel like I'm like, man, they couldn't put this in a different way, or they just. But yeah, there's only so much you can do with that photon.
What are these battery packs? I wonder where you get these batteries from.
I don't know.
These LCD screens on them is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
All right, Benji. Oh wait, is he watching?
What?
He is watching it.
Are you kidding me?
We're live. Aaron, I'll take a picture of you watching it.
Isn't that dangerous? It's like having a DVD player on your car while you're driving. But that's pretty dope, man. Now you gotta have, tell me you have speakers built into that screen too. So you can like watch movies and that would be pretty cool. All right, I'm a fan of that setup. That thing is pretty awesome.
Nice.
My one thing is like, of course, my brain goes to what happens when you crash, though. That looks like a tablet you got there. Better never lay that thing down. But that thing is pretty cool. I'm looking at those gauges, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've got screen envy right now. All right, who else? Oh, you going to take a picture of it?
I already took it. All right, let's see. I think that was it. That was all. That was it for Discord.
All right.
What time is it? We've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Anybody got anything else they want? Any unfinished business that you guys want to clear the air with? You want to settle?
Dennis Whitlock, what's the link to our Discord is in the description
of
this
video. It's pinned, I think, right? You got a pinned comment. I'm looking on my phone here, and it's pinned to the top.
So, that pinned one is... All right, I'll pin the right one. But it's also in the description. If you click the little more button, it's in the description. But I will pin it here just so it's there.
I did want to. I wanted to clarify. Last week, I made a comment about mining lithium in Africa, and I meant to say cobalt, and I wanted to clear that up. because it is a very important distinction. My brain, this is what happens. I get myself in trouble. I start talking about stuff, and I'm thinking about batteries. But it's a small detail. But anyways, I just want to be totally apparent. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth and I misspeak. So yeah, they're not mining lithium in Africa. They're mining cobalt, which is part of the battery equation. It's part of the battery, but it's a different, very specific part. But I got a lot of crap, a lot of people chiming in. What a load of crap! That's cobalt they're mining, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, it's slave child labor in Congo. But yeah, anyways, I misspoke, so I apologize to all you people out there editing my linguistic skills. All right, so we're at 7 o'clock. I think we're just about at time. I think we're at 7 o'clock.
I don't want to like beat our own drum, but I think the audio was good.
Yeah. I think
we've gotten through it. I think we're at the end of the show. The audio is good. I don't think there was any lagging.
We're hardwired. So the last 2 weeks we had an internet issue. It was just we had 1 megabit upload speeds, which is nothing. I mean, it's barely. Usually it's 50 to 60, if not more. So after the last week's show, I signed up. Shane helped me find a new internet provider. We got them service to come in next week and get new internet because I was like, this is ridiculous. 1 megabyte upload speed. And then the next day it was back up to 60, 70. So good internet tonight, but we're still going to upgrade so we never have that issue again.
We'll see.
But yeah, good audio. So good job, Shane, on getting us set up. We had to move this whole thing.
We did it together.
Yeah.
It was all of us.
Takes a village.
If it wasn't for the chat too. Next we have to just work on this angle here.
Yeah, clean up after the robbery that occurred.
There's people that actually think there's a robbery. So
it looks like it makes more sense. Okay, how about we clean up after the small earthquake?
There you go.
Or my daughter came in there and just threw a fit, and she just trashed the place. Anyways, all right, for Shane, I'm John. Call me John, JohnnyNerdOut, whatever. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate it.